Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another Giallo review. And this time I'm doing probably one of the best known and biggest Giallo films, Sergio Martino's Torso from 1973. This was one of the first Giallos I ever saw, and you can buy this in both red and yellow covers. I don't know what the yellow one is, I just like the look of the red. This was another one that got stolen years ago, then I finally got it back recently, so it's been a while since I've seen this. I just rewatched it. So yeah, this is one of the first ones I ever saw. It was sort of learning what a Giallo was, and it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's this college in Italy, and there's a few sex-related murders, and then a group of female students go out to this countryside villa to like lay low. Then the killer comes and terrorizes them. There's a little more to it than that, but this is one of the more suspenseful ones, at least in my opinion, especially towards the last half hour or so. I guess getting into the plot, I mean, we keep seeing this image of this doll with children's hands going towards it to puncture in the eyes. So we know that's the image of the killer. And of course, this is a black-gloved, white-masked killer. This one's wearing a red and black ascot. I mean, I just got done watching this. I'm kind of tired, so this review might be a little bit all over the place. But, like this one girl gets dumped and she goes to like a hippie. Well, first we see there's this couple in a car. They get killed. That's what sort of sparks the terror amongst the campus. The one girl sort of gets dumped, I guess, and goes to this hippie commune. Gets high, and then when she leaves, she gets killed. She gets strangled with the ascot, and the ascot we see get purchased at this like vendor outside. And I mean, this it's kind of deceitful in like a traditional Giallo way with who the killer is. They make the scarf salesman to look really creepy. And then one of the girls so the police has the ascot. And they say, if anyone knows who bought this or seen anyone wearing this, that's who the killer is. And one of the girls recognizes it, gets a threatening phone call, and that's when they get sent to the countryside villa. I mean, some parts are pretty slow. There are lots of sexual liberation in this film, which I find kind of boring. But once they get to the villa, that's definitely where the movie picks up. I guess our lead would be Suzy Kendall from Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And that's where the suspense comes in. She rolls her ankle on the staircase. So they have some champagne, they leave her to bed, and then, because one of the many people that you think is the killer is this other student, because we see him attack a prostitute. He's impotent. We can see in one scene when he kills the girl with the ascot that the killer has like bright green eyes like this other guy does. Apparently he's been like stalking these girls also. But they open the door and that guy's standing there and he's been strangled by the ascot. So we know he's not the killer. So the next morning, Suzy Kendall wakes up, goes downstairs, and realizes all three girls have been killed. And it's pretty much this day-long endeavor of, and I also mentioned in a previous video, can't remember which one, probably my Giallo collection video, that I wouldn't be surprised if the filmmakers of High Tension had seen this or was inspired by this. Because he comes in, with this hacksaw and just starts dismembering him. You don't really see much. That's one of the disappointing things, that it's not really... There is some blood, but not a whole lot. Like, you don't really see him really, like, dismembering the girls. So she, like, goes upstairs and completely cleans her room, folds the mattress back so it looks like no one's been staying there. You know, sort of like the scene in High Tension, almost erasing her existence, so to speak. And, you know, he just goes in and out of dismembering the girls, dragging them outside, bury them. And there's this other guy who we see at the scarf stand. He gets on the train with them, kind of glares at them. He is the doctor. He's the one that treats Suzy Kendall for her ankle. So then we're supposed to believe he's the killer for a while. I probably should have said spoilers right between, because I already canceled out most of the people. But, you know, if you're a Giallo fan or Italian horror fan, you've probably seen this already anyway. But I guess spoilers from here on out. It's already been a short review. But, you know, the whole time, you know, she's hiding, and, you know, like, her slippers slip off on the stairs, she bumps into a chair. So the killer has to keep going upstairs and, you know, checking everything while she's hiding. And finally, one of my favorite scenes is when, because he locks the door with the key in it that she's in. So she puts a newspaper under the door and puts, like, a bobby pin through. The key misses the newspaper, but we see the killer put it on the paper. She's retracting it. And then a fight ensues, and eventually you find out, spoilers, I'm going to spoil who the killer is. The whole time it's been this art professor. I know I didn't go too in depth with the plot, but, you know, they're all part of this art class. And it's the art professor. Or art history, rather. You know, he talks about how when he was a boy, you know, we see the thing with the doll. There was a doll on a cliffside, and there was him as a young boy, another boy, and a young girl. A boy wanted to look up this other girl's dress. She said, if you get my doll, you can. But you have to get my doll first. So he goes to get the doll, but he loses his balance, and when he falls and crashes, that traumatizes the kid. Or traumatizes the teacher as a kid. So he's always identified beautiful women as dolls. And two of the girls that were killed coerced him into a three-way, then blackmailed him. So that's why he had to kill them, and then he killed the rest of the girls to cover up his tracks. And then she's saved by the day. Her day is saved by the doctor. I know I didn't go too in depth with it, but I mean, I'm sure most people who are into the genre have seen this. I mean, this is a pretty big one. I know there's other Sergio Martino films like All Colors of the Dark, The Secret Vice of Mrs. Ward, Mountain of the Cannibal God, but, you know, this still is one of my favorite Giallos. I think it's pretty straightforward. It is a little slow going, but, you know, once they get to the villa, it does pick up a lot more. You know, excuse me. You know, on the cover from DVD Verdict, crackles with suspense. Kino City, I think that is. A stylish and effective Giallo. I agree. I think this is a pretty good Giallo. It does a good job at the red herrings. I mean, sometimes it's just like, well, they're really trying to make it look like the doctor, but, you know, because the villa's way up here on a cliffside, and the town's way the fuck down here. I know this hasn't been very informative. I just got up not too long ago, so I'm still kind of tired. But yeah, Torso is really good Giallo. It's one of my favorites. Definitely start out with one of these. That's what I did. If you ever want to say to someone what a Giallo film is, this is a perfect example. So yeah, Torso, I really enjoyed it. definitely is a genre defining film. But for Room 237, that's all I got for that. Thank you.